talking about the top players, we have to talk about Ronnie. The two maximums in one game is probably not something we ever thought we'd see, especially at a tournament of this standing. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Jackson Page did it at the World Championship, but
Yeah,
I did it. I think he made it in two different sessions of the same match. Again, you can correct me if I'm wrong in that. This was in a best of, was that best of 11?
it was,
Um,
which is
just
unbelievable.
and yeah, it's. I
Yeah.
mean, listen, even for Ronnie, it's the first time he's that these performances are like a one in a. I don't know what the percentage is. You know, he's never done it before and may never do it again. But it was just. You can't play snooker better than that. Basically, that's all you can say. That is as good as it gets. Two
Yeah,
147s. Was it a 142, a 131, 80s? That it's you can't
yeah.
play better than that.
Two maximums and four total clearances in a game that was only
Yeah,
6-3. I mean, that's Wakelin must be
yeah.
thinking, well, they can't do a lot about that, really.
It was genius stuff. It's funny because I thought he looked really good in Shanghai, Ronnie. Although Kyron played brilliant the last three frames to beat him, and then he's carried it on. It was funny. I watched a little bit of Ronnie's match at the start of the week in Saudi, and I thought the tip he was using sounded very hard. Not quite Mark Williams level, but
The
you
tip
could
that you
tell the
hate so
sound.
much.
Yeah, but you could tell the sound from it. It was a lot
Yeah.
harder than he used to do. So he's obviously had a major. The new cue. He's obviously loves the cue because to do what he's done, that's having complete confidence in the cue you're using. Um, so yeah, it's I mean,
Yeah.
what can you say? I mean, it's just genius, isn't it?
The buzz in the arena.
Yeah, I mean, we've
Go on.
talked about how the tournament is still growing. It's still gathering a following, but obviously
Mm.
to see that sort of brilliance it must raise the profile of the whole thing a bit, because that's, as you say, even Ronnie's never done that.
Did you commentate on that, Stephen? That match?
Yeah, we was in commentary, myself and David Hendon. Yeah, it
What
was.
was it? What was it? What I was going to say was what was what was the reaction from the crowd? Because obviously it's a young tournament, a young the venue's not had a lot of snooker. Did they appreciate how good this was?
Yeah, well, we raised a pretty niche point that it might have been the first frame that a lot of those people in that venue had seen coming to watch Ronnie O'Sullivan in that
But
semi-final.
this game's easy. This game snooker's easy.
So yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're probably thinking after that game, wow, how easy is this game?
Yes.
But yeah, it was incredible because obviously he's made the max in the first, then they had the 142 straight afterwards. Then Wakelin's got back into it at 3 each, and then he's had the other max. And the buzz at the end, like they was all chanting his name. It was incredible. Like I've never heard like a chant like that for a snooker player in a snooker arena. It was like a football game
Really?
almost, but it was just
We've said it
different
before.
class. To see the mood that Ronnie was in. He was just in one of his incredible moods, and the little giggle that he had at the end with Chris Wakelin over it. I don't think even Ronnie could believe what he'd just
Yeah.
achieved. It was immense.
We've said it before, it is quite special. There's not many sports where the whole crowd wants that thing to happen. I've only ever witnessed it once, which was at the Masters, Mark Allen doing it. And that was similar to what you were saying. That was my son's first ever live match. So it was the second frame I think he ever watched. And again, it's that thing of trying to communicate to someone how rarely they're going to see this in their lives. There's not, I mean, there's probably no other sport where the whole arena is holding its breath for one thing to happen. It's an amazing thing to see, but to see it twice, I mean, I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
And
The strange thing with Ronnie is that because in the UK tournaments he doesn't really try for 147s anymore. It's like
no,
I don't, and probably because there's not the biggest prizes in some of the UK tournaments, so he tends to like if he doesn't really try to stay in the black. But I think because it was where the tournament was and snooker is just starting out in this journey in Saudi Arabia, I think probably that made him want to do it a little bit more.
I think I can remember him checking with the ref how much money it was for a 147 and then just not bothering
Yeah,
to
yeah,
go for it.
yeah.
Which
I know, yeah, it's
most of us,
Yeah,
if we could
perhaps,
make a
yeah.
maximum break, we'd probably just do it for the hell of it, but not Ronnie. That's 5 minutes of his life he's wasted otherwise. I was going to say, every time I've seen a 147, on TV or anything, the opponent always seems genuinely happy which again is a very unusual thing in sport. But then I don't know if Stephen would have been like that if someone made a 147 against him.
It's definitely going to be a question of sport question in years to come. Who did Ronnie play when he made two 147s in one match? So Chris Wakelin
Yeah,
is going to be his name's going to be around for a long time.
yeah, it's probably not the way you want to be remembered, but at least it's something, isn't it? Ronnie came back almost from the dead against him, and he also came back against Kyron, and he very, very nearly pulled off a brilliant comeback in the final as well. This is one thing about Ronnie, isn't it? Sometimes he gets in a rut in a match, and you can see he's sort of mentally tapped out a bit. But if he is on it, then he must be one of the most terrifying players to be sort of chased by.
I think that was what impressed me the most about Ronnie. You know, obviously the semi-final performance was great, and we'll remember it forever. But it was right from shot one that he just looked like he wanted a battle. And as you say, quite often Ronnie he'll throw the towel in at that point if he's not bothered and not interested. He just wants to get out of there. But there was no signs of that. He really wanted to dig in and fight, and he wanted to turn the matches around. And his attitude
I agree with you, Stephen.
was great.
Yeah, I think that's maybe the biggest talking point of that tournament, where Ronnie's concerned, is, as you say, he's so up for the fight, and we've often seen him not pull those. In fact, you would have thought he was dead and buried against Chang Bingyu, but the flip side with Ronnie is there's probably no one better at hauling back a lead, because he can just get into that where he reels off 2 or 3 frames just like that.
Well, the thing is, for the rest of the season, if he is up for it in every tournament, he's going to have one hell of a season, because it's if he completely continues to play that high standard, and his attitude is where he wants to be there, wants to compete, wants to dig in, then it could be a really interesting season for Ronnie.
What do you think? What happened in your head, Stephen? Well, either Stephen, but I suppose Hendry. What's a different mentality if you're a couple of frames from winning versus being well behind? Is there something where if you're far enough behind, you almost the pressure's off you and you just start to play kind of freely?
Well, I mean, especially for the more inexperienced players, as Stephen's already said, Chang Bingyu had a chance to win, probably played the wrong shot, wasn't thinking properly, and that's what happens. You just stop thinking clearly, stop playing the right way, the way you're playing to get that lead. And it's a cliche, but we always say in commentary, the final frame's the hardest frame to win, and especially when you're playing one of the giants in the game, because the reason these are the giants of the game, because they don't give up. They can see, and they can start to see weakness in their opponent, and then they just come back. And we all know Ronnie can reel off 4 or 5 frames in no time at all. It's you do get to the stage where that last frame, to still think clearly and play the right shots is a talent in its own.
I'm remembering you pulling off an unbelievable comeback. Was it against Mike Hallett? It was a long time ago, but there was someone you beat from almost in the Masters, was it?
8-2, yeah, I was 8-2 down, and come back. Also, I was 8-2 ahead against Ronnie in the charity challenge, and he came back, and I was the same thing. The reason I felt so good in the decider, I didn't know I was going to make a 147, but the reason I still felt okay is because I didn't do anything wrong.
Just had to get that in.
I thought I'd just add that, just add a little bit of spice in there. So I'm being topical. We're talking about 147, so I thought I'd throw one in.
It's relevant.
But apart of the reason I still felt okay in it, because I'd done nothing wrong. Ronnie just reeled off 6 frames in no time at all, and I thought, well, I've not really made a mistake here. It's just his brilliant play. So I still felt like all right. But I've been in the stage where I've been ahead of to Steve Davis's, the people like that, and when these people start coming back at you just easy chances become, you can see problems. Whereas to get to the lead, you just go in and clear up. But all of a sudden you see, oh, what if that happens? What if that happens? And it plays tricks with your mind.
It's almost like you're under more pressure because you've been playing so well, just to get that final, in the same way the final mile of the marathon, it's just getting over the line, I suppose. And if you're in a decider and you've been behind in the match for a lot of it, you must have a psychological advantage thinking we're going in at sort of all square now.
Yeah, it kind of switches sometimes. If you come back and then you get to the decider, then all of a sudden you think, "Oh, I can win this now," and then the pressure sort of switches a little bit. But because in a decider, anything can happen. You can make 147s. Anything can happen.
Yeah, that doesn't normally happen, to be fair.
But that's what made Neil Robertson's performance in that final all the more impressive, because he was so far in front, and then all of a sudden he was 9-8 down. He's had to go again, he's had to find another response from somewhere, and it took a real big effort. And he did start to look for problems. Neil, he was in amongst the balls. There was a couple of chances where they're absolutely perfect, like a practice setup, and he's taking ages over the shots. Couldn't have a clear mind. But we all know he made a great clearance in the end to win it. So that was even more impressive, really.
Yeah, truly. To go through that many different psychological stages in one game is quite something, isn't it?
And he was in bits at the end. The emotions that he showed. When he got interviewed, he was absolutely just emotionally drained. He was just gone.
It's incredible. Both times we've seen this massive money tournament go down to a deciding frame for £500,000. It is high drama. You can't deny it.
Yeah, and I'm sure that like, none of the players, both players have won a lot of money in their career. No, none of them would be thinking about the money in the deciding frame. It's just about beating one of the other best players in the world in a huge final. That's all they were thinking about. You can think
Especially Ronnie.
once everything settles, then you think, oh, that's nice, £500,000.
I bet it is nice, yeah.
But during the final, these guys wouldn't have been thinking about that.
They're not thinking about the trouser until they get over the line. Fair play.